If you're staring at your screenplay thinking, what happens next? You've likely fallen into a common trap. You built an idea without a dramatic engine. This happens to everyone. You're moving along just fine, then somewhere in the second act, you hit a wall. In this video, I'm going to show you how to develop a screenplay concept by implementing a dramatic engine that keeps generating scenes, conflict, and momentum in your screenplays without forcing it. And this isn't just theory, I'm going to show you exactly how to implement it. Let's go. So a strong concept doesn't just sound interesting. It stimulates a multitude of ideas. You can feel the potential in the logline when you hear it. One conflict leads to another, branching off into a multitude of possible confrontations and decisions. This is the foundation of how to generate screenplay ideas that can keep expanding instead of just running out of steam. So what is a dramatic engine? Well, a dramatic engine is the system that creates conflict, forces decisions, and progresses the plot naturally. And that engine is built with 4 ingredients: a clear external objective, an intangible objective, aka a motive or a need, relationships that evolve under pressure, and pressure devices. Together, they're the parts that make the engine, so let's break each one of them down. First, the tangible objective. This is the character's goal to achieve an outcome that exists in space and time. The most common ones we've seen is find a person, reach a location, stop an event. It's something your protagonist is going to accomplish or fail to accomplish. The second is the intangible objective, aka the motive or the need. Now, a motive is essential for the audience to track why the tangible objective is important, but I like taking it a step deeper and unpacking what's actually missing inside of the character. Make it very personal, meaning their intangible objective may be to gain confidence, win love, find belonging, find purpose. This is what gives your story emotional weight. So the external objective moves the plot, but the internal objective grounds the narrative in meaning and emotion. Third is progression of relationships. So we need to find out who's around the protagonist, and more importantly, how does the relationship change? See, characters, they all serve a different purpose. They are impacting the protagonist in a variety of ways that thematically align with your narrative. And I know this may sound abstract, but stick with me. I'm going to show you exactly how to implement this easily. And number 4 is pressure devices. And this is what tightens everything. A deadline, a secret, a risk, a consequences. Those are kind of the most common ones. See, without pressure, a story just kind of feels stagnant. With pressure, everything accelerates. Altogether, these 4 elements create a system that keeps producing story. Now, just a quick aside before we get into the practical application. Building a dramatic engine is slightly different for feature versus TV. It's the same engine, just a different purpose. Meaning in a feature, everything drives towards an ending. A character either gets the goal or fails. They either change or they don't. The story closes. However, in TV, the goal is not to end. It's just to keep generating story. You need to come up with new conflicts, new tensions, new situations. You're building a system that keeps producing episodes. So the question shifts from feature, which is how do I end, to what keeps going? Feature resolves, TV sustains. Let's continue. So how do we build a dramatic engine underneath our new screenplay concept? Well, let's build an engine right now together. I'm going to illustrate the process. Say, for example, I've got a new idea about a musician who wants to make it in Hollywood. Well, I gotta ask myself, is this character trying to achieve something specific? Well, the goal to make it in Hollywood is actually not specific enough. A more viable and specific objective is to, say, play the rock scene, the single event that the character can view as making it. And the key is here, it's located in space and time. And now that I have that, I want to ask, well, what is the intangible objective? Or what are they missing internally is what I like to ask. Is it a sense of self-worth, independence, the ability to love? And who around them creates the most tension? Is there a love interest who's putting up with the struggle but growing fed up? Is it a gatekeeper like a producer who's exploiting them? What forces are closing in on them? It can be time, it can be gatekeepers, it can be resources. When I can answer all these things clearly, the idea opens up. I can start to see events. So now let's get into Scriptmatix, the app, and I'm going to show you how to mine for high quality, detailed answers to these questions that build your dramatic engine, strengthen your AI screenwriting workflow, and unlock your story. So it goes without saying that we need a concept and a protagonist. When you have that, move into the character journey builder. And this is where the engine starts forming. Answer the overview questions and generate an under your character profile you're going to see the character objective, needs and motives, and supporting characters are going to be a little bit down the page. Now let's get surgical. So under the character profile, I want you to first focus on two things: the objective and the false operating belief. The objective shows you what the character is pursuing, the belief shows you what's broken underneath. Now let's take that information further. You can use the protagonist strategy model, and this really explores different ways the character might pursue the same tangible objective. Because different strategies equal different conflicts, and different conflicts equal different scenes. Explore all possibilities. This is one practical way to generate screenplay ideas from the character's objectives instead of forcing random plot events right out the gate. Now let's look at the supporting cast. I like to think of each one of these as a pressure point. Now, the antagonist might block the tangible objective, while the other ones tempt the character's intangible objective, meaning one can expose their weakness or their fears, and one can raise the emotional cost for them. But each relationship sparks new scenarios, new scenes. But to go deeper on each relationship, use the relationship expansion model, and you'll discover the relationship arc and how conflict is generated between them. This next tactic is the fastest way to upgrade your story. I'm going to go through each pressure device here, but they're actually surface level. I have a whole other video that goes through every pressure device. You got to check that one out. But here, let's start with time restriction. Basically, you put the goal or the tangible objective on a clock. For example, a deal is going to expire, or a move date hits, or a window of opportunity is closing. In our musician's story, if his objective is to play the Roxy, it's fine, but let's say he wants to play on a specific date where a specific person is watching and he needs to sell a certain amount of tickets to make it on stage before that performance date. This adds substantial pressure to the scenes leading up to the event. Next device is just adding stakes. Basically, failure has to have a cost. If he loses the opportunity, he loses the dream and himself. Stakes are really the lowest hanging fruit for maintaining audience engagement. Next device is secrecy. Something must stay hidden by or from the protagonist. In our idea, what if the producer is exploiting the musician, coerced him to maybe sign a bogus contract, and the secret is delaying an inevitable fallout and disappointment? Next is danger. Now, this doesn't always have to be physical danger, it could be emotional danger. As pressure around our musician mounts and secrets compile, the impending danger of loneliness, regret, and shattered dreams comes into focus. And next device is pretty obvious, it's opposition, right? Someone or something pushes back. Not just physically, it can be ideologically, it can be emotionally. Let's say, for example, if our musician is playing for the love of music, that's just who he is. His opposition can also come from other musicians in his sphere that are in it just for the money and willing to throw him under the bus for a buck. This is an ideological juxtaposition here. These devices also fuel the engine. They make scenes collide, they make stories move, they create tension and conflict, and they create range when you use them all in unison. This is how you develop a screenplay concept so it keeps producing conflict instead of just depending on one clever idea. So a strong concept or a strong story runs on a dramatic engine built from a clear external objective, a clear internal objective, aka need or motive, relationships under pressure, and pressure devices. And to build that engine, use the character journey builder inside of Scriptmatix.com. It's free to join. Explore the protagonist strategy and relationship expansion models, test them, adjust them, and once it's clear, the story you're stuck on will open up, I can promise you that. And next time you have an idea, do this in development before you start your next project inside of Scriptmatix. Use it as part of your AI screenwriting workflow and watch how much easier your next project comes together. Please like, subscribe, comment. Happy writing.